really to host these on a regular basis. This afternoon, we have a presentation and really some discussion, and that is going to be focused from Laura Fisher and Garrett Steed. And the topic today is accelerating connections, speed networking for agriculture communication scholars. And so our process here in SACS is that our presenters will provide information over to us. And then if we have questions, it's really up to the presenter whether to have the questions during the presentation or at the end. And then at the very end, if there's time available, we have some opportunities to share some of the kind of the things that are going on at our home institutions, or if you know of conferences and calls for papers, posters, and presentations, anything like that, there'll be time at the very end, hopefully, for that as well. So with that as an introduction, I'm going to turn it over to Garrett for today's presentation.
All right. Thank you so much, Ricky. Thank you all for joining us. That all word is not super big for our group today, especially with our topic of networking. But there's some new faces or less familiar faces in the group today, so I think we could definitely have some valuable conversations. So what exactly are we doing this for? This was something that came out of our work group within our USDA multi-state project. We had a large group, our group, specifically the public communication group, saw a need for us to really take some time to understand what everyone was doing within the capacity of public communication so that we could identify what route forward do we have as a group, research-wise, that's best going to align with our research interests and the next steps that we want to take in our careers. And so we thought that taking that idea from our work group to SACS could be really valuable, especially for new scholars, people who are in new positions, people who are late in their doctoral program and they're beginning to enter the job market, things of that nature. And so we really wanted you to approach this time with us today to think about what it is that some things we want you to think about when we're going through here and ask questions are: who's doing what it is that you do at your institution? Also, who's doing things that you want to be doing? There's always those there's goals, of course, of who we want to be like or who we want to kind of do things like, not necessarily who, but the type of work that they're doing and how do we get there. And then also there's challenges that we're all facing, whether it's because we're in new positions or new responsibilities or changes in resources at our institutions. What are some challenges that you're facing that others might have also faced or are facing? That's kind of what we wanted this specific speed networking time to be focused on. So we're going to end up using breakout rooms for this time, but before we enter the breakout rooms, we wanted to make sure that we kind of leveraged our time together in the most beneficial way. So when we got to our breakout rooms, we didn't spend time saying, hi, this is who I am. We all kind of get that all out there here at the beginning. So we're going to do in 30 seconds or less, we're going to bounce around our work group here, our group here, and just give us your name, your university, and title there, and then what your research focus area is or the interest that you specifically have. I'll begin and then I'll call someone else to go next, and we can kind of follow that method moving forward if that works for y'all. So as I said, I'm Garrett Steed. I am an assistant professor in Ag, Food, and Natural Resource Communication at the University of Minnesota. My research focus area is in public communication and the impacts on public opinion. So how does the communication that the public encounters impact their beliefs, their opinions, their voting patterns, their purchasing patterns, all of those sorts of things. So that's a quick introduction of me. Since Laura's doing this with me today, I'm just going to pop and say Laura can go next.
Wonderful. I knew you were going to say that. So hi, everyone. I'm Laura Fisher. I'm an assistant professor at Texas Tech University. And very similar to Garrett, this idea of public communication, I focus mainly on strategic communication. So understanding who our different audiences are, and then how we can use messages and message design to best foster trust within the agricultural and natural resources industry. Just kind of popping down this list, I'm going to pull on Lacey.
Hello, everyone. Sorry, I'm going to leave my camera off. Still technically on maternity leave. My name is Lacey Roberts Hill. I'm an assistant professor at New Mexico State University, but I'm going to be moving to Texas Tech in the spring. So I'm going to be over there taking on hopefully some new projects where my interests are in visual communication and their overlap within international agriculture, but also just how we communicate using visuals, both to the public and within the classroom. So those are some of my interests.
So I think you get to call on the next person, Lacey.
Oh, I do. Oh, okay. Kylie's the first one on my page here.
Can you guys hear me before I give my host spill? Can I have a thumbs up? Amazing. Okay. My name is Kylie Hilburn. I'm actually a graduate assistant at the University of Florida, and I was in Dr. Tell's class this morning that he was talking about everybody was a straggler, but I was not. But anyways, so my research interest is really around Native Americans and how do we incorporate them better and more in, for one, higher education, but also in agriculture, being a Native American myself.
You get to pick the next one.
Oh goodness. Oh goodness. Okay. Let's go with Jay.
Hello everyone, my name is Jay An. I'm a new assistant professor of artificial intelligence extension, and I'm very new guy here. So it's been just 1 month. So I have basically 3 to 4 meetings every day. So yeah, busy. And my research focus is not entirely communication, communication, but my previous position, research scientist at Texas University, actually made some connections with some scientific communicators like Dr. Dara Wald. We are interested in really talking about the genetically engineering salmon and how consumers respond to that, something like that. So yeah, that's why I'm here. I'm very interested in today's session. So thank you.
Say what, I'll call people so that we can keep things moving on. Sharon, you're next. You're muted, Sharon. Sharon, you're muted.
Wait, there, did it go
There
this
you go.
time?
I
Okay.
got you. Perfect.
Sharon Wagner, Assistant Professor at Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College. My interest area is, and I love this idea of public communication. I like to tell people that because my background is really industry stratcom, that I'm helping consumers to understand the science of food. And so I do a lot of things on food labels and on nutrition and things like that. And I'm looking, I teach a 4-4 plus advise. So I'm looking for some projects maybe that I could hop in on to get me started back into the full research mode. If anybody's got tasks that they need help with, I'd love to collaborate.
Great, thank you, Sharon. I'll go with 2 and Taylor and then Alyssa Gore.
Hey, hi everybody. My name's Taylor Ruth. I'm an assistant professor at the University of Tennessee, Knoxville. My area focuses on science communication. Specifically, I do research related to media literacy and misinformation with science.
Hi, my name is Elisa Boswell Gore, and I work for Oklahoma State University. I think I'm probably the only one on here who is not faculty or student. I am the Ag Research Communications Coordinator at Oklahoma State University, and so it's just basically my job to promote any and all areas of agricultural research at our university, and I was already very interested in research, and it's just gotten me even more interested in research. So that's why I was passionate about being part of this group and helping in any way that I could or contributing in any way that I could.
Great, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Gonna go with is it Elia, then Courtney, and then Alyssa Rockers.
Hi, my name is Elia Reibel. I'm a graduate research assistant at New Mexico State University, And kind of like the interest I'm interested in is like extension communications and just kind of more, I'm a gardener, so I really enjoy kind of like how we can use gardening as a communication.
Great, thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Courtney Myers, a professor in agricultural communications at Texas Tech University. And I spend a lot of time in the research area of the scholarship of teaching and learning, whether that be helping to improve our educational activities or creating curriculum to attract more people to agriculture, or exploring how high impact learning experiences influences students' grit and resilience. Other research interests are exploring message development, message testing, and how that might influence decision making.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I am Alyssa Rockers. I'm an assistant professor at Iowa State University as of a month and a half ago. My research interests are a lot to do with feminist research, women, how can we meet their needs, their communication needs, and a lot of my research has been specifically with mothers. I also have an interest in the teaching and learning of AgCom, but kind of do a little bit of both, so.
Great, thank you, Alyssa. And I'm Ricky Taub, University of Florida professor here, also the director for the Center for Public Issues Education with PI Center. My research area really focusing now in my career on policy communication, the impact of communicating different aspects about policy to policymakers, also public perceptions of just about any and every issue that you can think of that we've done in the PI Center overall. So that's kind of me. So Garrett, Laura, turn it back over to you.
All right, thank you all so much for taking your time to introduce yourself. So how this is going to work is our plan right now is to have 4 rounds lasting 5 minutes each. So it's really going to be a speed round. You're going to be put into breakout rooms at random assignment. That way you have the opportunity to get to meet as many people as possible. We have a small group here, so with 4 rounds, you'll probably meet most everyone in here. So some suggested topics for discussion while you're in here, and these are things that came out in that preparation email that Ricky sent. What are your research and teaching ideas or interests, and how can you connect those to people who you've now heard their interests? What about collaboration opportunities that you personally have? Maybe there's things that you're working on and you are looking for collaborators that maybe brought up something that align with what you're doing. And then funding opportunities, whether you're looking for funding opportunities, what do those look like? Or you have funding opportunities that you're looking for collaborators with. Those are the 3 primary discussion points that we're looking at discussing here in our breakout rooms. So we're now going to go ahead and break out into those breakout rooms. I'm going to send out a message when we have 1 minute left, and you'll be switched to another breakout room. But at this time, Laura is going to set you up in your groups.
Did y'all get a notification for breakout rooms? Okay, perfect. And then it's us 3 again.
Perfect. Okay. So
I've got my timer set and
I'm sorry if that last go around you were with a person that maybe you've already been in a group with, but it did kind of get flubbed up there with nobody getting invites. So sorry about that. So kind of what we were hoping for your time with your groups was the opportunity for you to identify some new collaboration opportunities, or somebody that, hey, let's set up a time to chat, or an email later on, something you found interesting with some of the work that some of the other people are doing, are open to doing, maybe exchanging of information for new collaborators. Any questions with what you had going on? Does anybody want to share something you found interesting, a new collaboration opportunity, or anything related to what you chatted about in your groups? We got about 2 minutes to kind of run through that, if anybody wants to share. Wonderful.
Oh.
No, go for it.
You're saying wonderful. Okay. So one of my groups with Lacey and with Jay, we were talking about AI, and there's been some studies that we've been working on here looking at AI in the classroom with PackBack specifically, and I was kind of interested in looking at perceived credibility of PackBack and comparing it to perceived credibility of instructors and instructors using PackBack. And Lacey's actually using PackBack in her classes as well. So we kind of realized we're doing some similar things where it might open up doors for those opportunities. And if you're not familiar with PackBack, it's a AI software that can grade students' discussion posts as well as give real-time feedback on their writing. And it kind of makes grading easier on the instructors, and students have to put a little bit more thought into what they're actually submitting, but then they can kind of game the system a little bit, and how much are they learning and how does that impact how they view you as a teacher if you're not the one grading. So I think there's a lot of layers to unpack there. So it's kind of cool to see that other people are using it, and that might lead to opportunities for research like that in the future too.
Awesome. Anybody else have anything to share, a takeaway from their time in their groups?
Maybe not be the best one to share a takeaway, but
for it.
I just learned about a lot of really cool research going on, and everybody has really fascinating work that they're doing, and naturally with it, many of us being in the comm field, a lot of it is qualitative work, which is totally my jam, and so I'm really excited to work with anybody in any way that I can. So.
Awesome. Well, I did want to plug here before we go into our program updates, our USDA multi-state project. We have 5 working groups right now, to my knowledge. Taylor is definitely more knowledgeable about this for us, but we did want to plug it. We have a risk and crisis communication, media literacy, public communication, science communication pedagogy, and then also that technical adoption decision making. The QR code here on the screen will take you to more information about the multi-state project, who all's on it, kind of a general idea about it. So if you're interested in that, you can certainly go and check that out. We will be meeting in October for our virtual meeting, and then we meet at NACS each year in February for our yearly meeting. So with that, I'll turn it over to Ricky to take us through any program updates that anybody wants to share.
Sure. So let me go ahead and open it up. If you would like to share something, either your university, whether you have program update or a staff faculty update, or want to plug a upcoming conference, Garrett did use the abbreviation NACS. For those of you who don't know what NACS is, that's the National Agricultural Communications Summit. No, Symposium. How about that? Symposium. I know. Wow, that came out of nowhere. I don't know why that did. Symposium. We'll be meeting in Irving, Texas, which, if you're not familiar with Texas, it's like between Dallas and Fort Worth. And so that will take place in February. If you want more information about that, I'm happy to share that information. The call for papers, posters, workshop things are out. The deadline is coming up in October for most all of that. So that is what NACS is. But does anyone have any updates you'd like to share with the group overall? Yes, Courtney.
Well, Lacey's on here, so I think if you haven't heard, it went out. So we're really excited to welcome her to Texas Tech in January. Woohoo! And that means Dr. Dorfert retired, but we're thrilled to be able to welcome Lacey to our Texas Tech family. The other thing, as we're speaking about conferences, we're hosting the American Association for Agricultural Education National Research Conference here in May. So if you're looking for an excuse to come to Lubbock, that could be it. For those of you on the call who are Texas Tech alums, we have a really exciting plan for an alumni event. So just AgCom always has a strong presence at that conference. So if you're looking for another Texas conference in 2025, that could be it.
Okay, I threw in a couple of things in there. That is not the extent, all the extent for all the conferences there. So thank you, Courtney, for that information, and Lacey, yay, glad to hear about your change too.
I didn't realize that picture went out to everyone. I'm so sorry. It was in the individual chat. Sorry.
Um,
Okay,
Iowa
Melissa?
State's update would be that I work here now. Um, but I did want to plug, hopefully some of y'all saw the position went out from my previous institution, Tennessee State. They are hiring to replace me. And if anybody's interested in that position, wants to chat a little bit about it, I would love to help them find, a replacement because, even though wasn't the long-term place for me, I think it could be a great fit for somebody. So if you know anybody that's graduating here in December, I know there's not a ton of jobs that will start in January. And I know that they would ideally love to have somebody start in January. So if you know of anybody, that would be a great option for someone. It's a really cool position at an HBCU in Nashville. And there's several options there. So if you know of anybody interested in the position, please encourage them to reach out to me. I will be happy to talk about why I left, what was good, what was, other things. And just encourage if you know of anybody who might be a fit for that, I know that the students there need somebody. And so I wouldn't be doing my due diligence if I wasn't encouraging folks to give that a look. So
Great. Thank you, Alyssa. Anyone else?
I
Taylor?
have- Yes. So first of all, thank you, thank you, Garrett and Laura, for doing an excellent job promoting the multi-state at the end and for facilitating this. Thank you for doing my job for me. Yes, as Garrett mentioned at the end, we are having a virtual fall meeting in 2 weeks from today. So that's October 7th, same time at 3 p.m. If you are not officially part of that multi-state project on NIMS and you want to learn a little bit more about it, you can shoot me an email at truth3@utk.edu, and I'll put it here in the chat in a moment, and I can send you that email so you can have the Zoom link, and you are welcome to join us to find out more. My other announcement that I have is at the University of Tennessee, our department has officially been approved for a PhD, which we are very excited about. It has taken so long for them to get this through. So we're going to have a PhD in agricultural leadership, education, and communication starting spring of 2025. I have 3 years of funding for a PhD research assistant to work with me directly. So if you have a current master's student who's graduating this spring, or if you have past master's students who are interested in doing research in science communication, please send them my way. We have to pay a pretty decent amount of money here for our PhDs. So I think it's a pretty good assistantship. It's better than what I had at least. So please have them contact me. I would love to chat with them. Again, I'll put my email in the chat, and yeah, I'll also be at NACS this year too if you bring any students along with you.
That's exciting. Very exciting. Any other program updates? All right. If not, yeah, thanks for joining us. I love that. Thank you, Garrett. Just as a teaser for next month, our next meeting will be on October the 28th. Same time, we meet at 3 o'clock Eastern. Kelsey Hall, Utah State, will be focusing on a panel discussion on the topic trends and needs of graduates entering agricultural communications careers. So all of us who teach courses, definitely something to keep in mind. Those of us who may not be teaching courses,